Happy Solstice. The solstice became exact yesterday on Thursday, June 20th, 2024 at 4:50 p.m. New York time, which is 2050 Greenwich Mean Time. It is, of course, the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere and the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. The full moon in Capricorn becomes exact later today on Friday, June 21st, 2024 at 9:08 p.m. New York time, which is 1:08 Greenwich Mean Time on June 22nd. And more on this full moon later in this podcast. The solstice represents the zenith of polarity here on this planet, with 24 hours of daylight at the North Pole and 24 hours of darkness at the South. Wherever you are in the Northern Hemisphere, it's approximately the longest day, and wherever you are in the Southern Hemisphere, it's approximately the longest night. For the purposes of this podcast, I will focus on what is relevant for those in the Northern Hemisphere, as that is where most of you guys are located. The summer solstice, or Litha in pagan traditions, represents the maximum illumination of the sun-father aspect. It is a celebration that the Sun King has reached his maximum strength, yet it is also the acknowledgement that he begins to lose his power as we head into winter with every day that comes after the solstice. It's a wonderful time to take stock of all that is good in your life and to practice giving gratitude. Life isn't always easy, and for so many light workers, we have had a really difficult ride. Many of us are still navigating a particularly onerous course. But as arduous as things can get, there's always something to be grateful for without exception. Take some time to give thanks to your family, your friends, and your pets. Take a moment to give thanks for the sun, the moon, the stars. Express gratitude for the health that you do have, even if it isn't perfect. Show appreciation for the money, shelter, food, water, and resources that you do have, because there are certainly people on the planet who don't have anywhere close to what you have. Pay tribute to the beauty and sanctity of nature. Mother Earth shines her brightest on this day. Everything has bloomed and all the animals are out to play. Many creatures are already teaching their newborns the ways of the world after spring births. Nature is something that most of mankind takes for granted. We keep polluting and toxifying the planet with little concern as to the long-term consequences. And of course, when I say we, I mean not me and you. It's the large corporations and the governments of this world. As the light workers, starseeds, and pagans of the planet, it's essentially become up to us to do what we can do to mitigate the damage that is continually being precipitated by the powers that be. The simple task of appreciating and immersing our physical vessels in nature, in the nature that we do have left intact on the planet, is a wonderful contribution toward this end. We can practice visualizing the earth detoxifying or use the violet flame or violet light to assist in the earth's detoxification. I like to especially practice this when I visit any body of water. For example, I was in the ocean last night and just practicing gratitude and being with the earth. I would invite you to pause the podcast if you'd like, and I would challenge you to make a list of 10 or more things you're grateful for right now to honor the solstice energy, and especially include some things about the earth and just about life and in the natural world. And also, I would invite you to join in on the Disclosure Fest mass meditation tomorrow, taking place online, as we were not able to hold the festival in person this year due to the post-fire in Los Angeles County. But we have the online meditation taking place at 5 p.m. New York time, 2 p.m. Pacific time, and there's instructions on how to anchor in pillars of light into the Earth grid. So go to massmeditationinitiative.org. That's massmeditationinitiative.org. It's totally free to join, and it's a great act of service. And you can register and put in, the sacred sites that you'll be anchoring. So I'd highly recommend everyone join in on that, and I'll put the link in the pinned comment below this description box as well. Cancer season begins. The sun also moves into the sign of Cancer on the solstice. Cancer is the cardinal water sign of the zodiac. It is ruled by the moon, which is the overseer of the emotional body. During Cancer season, we tend to feel very emotional. We can cry at the drop of a hat. Interest grows in the feminine aspects of life, and there'll be a lot of talk in this podcast about balancing the feminine and the masculine, with Cancer being the feminine, Capricorn being the masculine. We feel a great call to enjoy the outdoors, to hug, to have alone time, to meditate, and to connect with our family. Cancer is the ruler of the fourth house in astrology, the house of home. During Cancer season, we feel naturally inclined to connect with family and to take care of our homes. Cleaning, organizing, and redecorating your home is a good idea during Cancer season, as is connecting with family, whether it be in person or over phone or video call. During Cancer season, we connect with the nurturing aspects of self, a capacity that we all carry within. If you have children, focus on becoming the best parent possible. Or whoever you are in a position of taking care of, other family members, pets, plants, etc., be the best, most nurturing parent that you can be. Also, don't forget that another important aspect of expressing that nurturing part of self is nurturing the self. Anything that is promoting self-care is a great idea during Cancer season, whether it be meditation, exercise, going swimming, going for a massage, watching a comfort movie. Take care of yourself. We may desire more alone time actually during Cancer season, as the glyph of Cancer is the crab, which often likes to stay in its shell and take refuge from the outside world. Honor that desire when it comes up and allow yourself to retreat from the world. Swimming in lakes, ponds, rivers, and the ocean is a great idea during Cancer season, as I said, as it connects you physically and energetically with the water element. Make sure you're staying extra hydrated too, especially when the inevitable heat waves hit, which they did this past week in the Northeast, and I'm sure there's more to come. A lot of long-term forecasts had this being an exceptionally hot summer in the United States. We are likely to feel more connected with our pets in the animal kingdom during this time. Our pets don't speak English or Spanish or Portuguese or French, but they feel our emotions and we can feel theirs. Personally, nothing makes me feel better when I feel emotional, frustrated, sad, or lonely than hugging my dog. Cancer season is usually a very intuitive time, though because of a strong, unique grand cross featuring Neptune and Black Moon Lilith, one needs to be very discerning of the messages and guidance they are receiving at this time. And more on this later in this podcast. Full moon in Capricorn. Happy full moon in Capricorn. This full moon at approximately 1 degree of Capricorn becomes exact at 9:08 p.m. New York time today on Saturday, June 21st, or Friday, June 21st, which is 1:08 Greenwich Mean Time on Saturday, June 22nd. Capricorn is the cardinal Earth sign as it begins the season of winter in the Northern Hemisphere. So as you can see, Cancer is the cardinal summer sign. Capricorn is the cardinal winter sign. Cancer is the feminine, and Capricorn is the masculine. It is ruled by stubborn, serious Saturn. Capricorn's glyph or symbol is the sea goat with the horns of a mountain goat and the tail of a fish. Since Saturn is right now slowing down, it's getting really slow in its movement as it prepares to enter its station retrograde phase, which is official on June 29th, but for all intents and purposes, June 27th, it's pretty much station. It is exalted right now, amplifying the strength and influence of this Capricorn full moon as Saturn rules Capricorn. And this is also the first of 2 consecutive full moons in Capricorn, with the second beginning on July 21st. So we have a lot of Capricorn energy right now. Capricorn is the ruler of the 10th house in astrology, which is the house of ambition. The midheaven or MC sits at the beginning of this house. The 10th house rules over our career and how we act, show up, and are perceived in the external world. When the Capricorn full moon rolls around, it of course means that we are in Cancer season, as we are now, and thus we must endeavor to try and balance our emotional experience of life with what is practical. On this full moon, we endeavor to find a balance between the earth and water elements, which is practicality and logic versus emotions. We are forced to think practically on this full moon to face the real 3D issues in our lives and to find a balance between logic and emotions. During Cancer season, everyone is feeling super emotional. You might feel like you could cry at the drop of a hat. You might be taking little things people say to you too personally, especially with Mercury in Cancer, or others may take what you say to them too personally. You might feel introverted and shelled up. And this is all amplified now because, as I said, Mercury is in Cancer and Venus as well, forming a 3-planet stellium with the Sun. Capricorn, which is Cancer's opposing sign, as I've said, is completely unemotional, being ruled by cold, practical Saturn. Capricorn suns, risings, or Mercuries are often perceived by others as being cold. Capricorn is a wonderful sign. It teaches us about building things for the long term, success, logic, and practicality. However, around this full moon and over the next couple of weeks, we should be mindful to consider others' backgrounds and feelings when we are communicating with them. When someone is cold in their communication with you, it doesn't feel good, right? With Mercury in Cancer sextiling Mars and Taurus, the energies actually bode well, though, to find a balance between communicating emotionally and discussing matters practically and logically. Capricorn has to do with infrastructure, the material world, and finance. It is especially concerned with the legacy control systems of the planet, such as the banking system, which some would call a cartel, governments, militaries, police forces, and secret societies. When the Capricorn energies are emphasized, as they are over the next 28 days, it is a good time for business and contract negotiations and matters. Capricorn's ruler Saturn is concerned with the long term, thinking about your long-term aspirations around the supermoon. If you could write the screenplay of your life and have it manifest exactly as you desire it to, how would you write that? Capricorn also has to do with anything that is practical, mundane, or repetitive, like your daily rituals. With the Capricorn energies emphasized, it is a great time to recommit yourself to supportive daily rituals. Here are some journal prompts to get you thinking about your long-term future and your daily rituals on this Capricorn full moon. And I would suggest pausing the video or the podcast between each question, jotting down some notes, or it might be even easier for you if you're listening on the Higher Self channel. Go to the pinned comment below the description box and click on the link to go to the article version of this podcast. And just scroll down to the section under Capricorn Full Moon, and you'll see all the journal questions there. If I could dream up any future for myself and it would definitely come true, what kind of future would I dream up? What would it look like? What would it feel like? How would I feel on a day-to-day basis? What would I be proud of? Do I tend to think long-term about things, or do I tend to be short-sighted? What types of things could I set into motion now that might set me up for long-term wealth, success, health, happiness, and fulfillment? What actions, routines, and projects that would give me a better chance at having great long-term health, wealth, and success have I been maybe neglecting lately? What short-term high dopamine activities could I reduce or do away with altogether in order to spend more time on those long-term rituals and projects? Capricorn has us thinking about time management. Where are we giving away our time in ways that aren't really ultimately serving our future and maybe even lead towards addictive tendencies, especially with Neptune being involved in this chart, which I'll talk about in a little bit here. Neptune being in the Grand Cross with Capricorn, the Capricorn moon and the Cancer sun. Where are you kind of giving away your time unnecessarily? Am I organized? How might being more organized give me a better chance at great long-term health, wealth, and success? Are my days structured? How might having more structure give me a better chance at great long-term wealth, health, and success? What are some daily rituals that I could start now or restart now that would really improve my well-being and accelerate my forward progress? When I mean daily rituals, I'm talking about things like maybe a daily bike ride, maybe a daily cold shower, maybe a daily 10-minute sit-down meditation, maybe a daily yoga session or Tai Chi session, right? Those sort of healthy, supportive rituals which Capricorn does rule over. And help us out here. Help out our community. Post a comment if you're listening on the Higher Self channel. Post a comment and let us know what rituals have you gotten into lately, or what rituals are you going to be getting back into that you know will support you in that long-term success. Here's a good question to ask. What daily rituals would the person I want to become have? Do I feel like my current living environment is supporting my highest evolution? If not, then what needs to change? Do I need to clean or reorganize? Do I need to relocate? If I do need to relocate, what type of situation could I practically afford that would give me the best chance of living a happy, healthy, successful, and fulfilling life right now? Do I feel like my current job or career is supporting my highest evolution? If not, then what might be the highest possible resolution to my career path? If it's not logical to leave my current occupation at this time, then how can I plan to make a transition to a new career in the future? What steps can I get started with now? What is my current financial situation from a realistic and grounded standpoint? What steps do I need to take to improve my finances, such as saving more, reducing costs, attracting a higher paying position, investing? Do I have a tendency to create unnecessary drama in my life? Ooh, what a great question that is. If so, then why? Does a part of me feel like there's something to gain through drama? Sometimes we dramatize things simply out of fear because the drama is just more comfortable and we know it better than actually doing something a little bit different, or following our true desires, right? Or following our guidance or whatever. Just by making a drama out of a situation, it allows us to immerse ourselves in the drama rather than taking whatever that leap of faith forward is that we might be a little scared of. Which interpersonal relationships of mine need work? Could be a partner, family, friends, or business. And how would these relationships ideally look and feel? What practical steps could I take to improve these relationships? Do I feel like the people I spend the most time talking to are supporting my highest evolution? And if not, then how might I put myself into a position where I can attract supportive people into my life? What baggage am I currently carrying that has gotten too heavy for me to carry any longer? What changes do I feel like my higher self or my soul is asking for me to make over the next year? What practical changes could I make to improve my physical health and my mental well-being? Better nutrition, more exercise, more sleep, better sleep, less stress, more deep breathing, fasting, cleansing, yoga, maybe all the above. What kind of plan could I put together today to give my body just what it needs to heal, grow, and flourish over the next year and beyond, regardless of what is going on in the outside world? Special Grand Cross with Neptune and Black Moon Lilith. We have a unique and special Grand Cross on this full moon with the Sun, Moon, Neptune, which is exalted at the very end of its transit through its home sign of Pisces, and Black Moon Lilith, which is exalted in the final degree of Gemini. Black Moon Lilith is a bit of a primer, is a fictional point that represents the moon's apogee, or the furthest from the Earth that the moon can get in its orbit at any given time. Black Moon Lilith is a complicated feature in astrology that rules over a number of things, especially things that society prefers to sweep under the rug. like taboo features of sexuality, occult knowledge, and witchcraft, psychological disorders, abortion and abortion rights, and secrets. It represents the shadow self psychologically. It is also the home of the parts of the divine feminine that have been suppressed by the masculine energies we might call the patriarchy. This is such an interesting grand cross as Capricorn represents the patriarchy. Black Moon Lilith's role in Gemini, where it is exalted in that final degree, is for the suppressed divine feminine to come forth and speak out using the collective throat chakra, if you will. It seems that over the next 28 days, there will likely be some big chunks of news around women's rights, likely both here in the United States and abroad. Women are going to need to express their needs and desires en masse in certain parts of the world at this time. Also, in general, I would advise women to utilize this energy to express the divine feminine in all the ways that they uniquely feel called to. So whether it's through dance, gardening, meditation, yoga, art, or fashion, this Cancer season is especially important for women to step up and take charge as the leaders of this planetary awakening, as they, in general, already are. It really is the women and the feminine energies that ultimately do lead this forward, and the masculine energies are there to support and in many ways also catch up. And ultimately, of course, the deepest meaning of this full moon is finding that ultimate balance between the masculine and the feminine. With an exalted Neptune involved in this grand cross, over the next 28 days we face lessons around discernment and illusion. A large part of the population felt gaslit by the rhetoric around the, let's say, schmaxerenes, masks, and lockdowns during the pandemic. Although, fortunately, we are in a very different time now, thankfully, a similar sort of energy will be felt in the collective around this time around current planetary issues like climate change and the war in the Middle East. Conspiracy theories that actually have no tethering in reality, and no, not all conspiracy theories are true, newsflash, though of course many are, but there will likely be a lot of wackadoodle, let's call it, conspiracy theories that really aren't tethered in reality. They'll proliferate or resurface over the next 28 days with this Grand Cross energy, similar to the Wild West QAnon delusions that snowballed during the early part of the pandemic. This is a poor time to be accurate with your intuition or to receive psychic messages in reality. Even though it's Cancer season, this Grand Cross is like, it's this big red cross, and you'll see it in the chart if you look at the full moon chart that sits on top of the energy of this full moon. It's not the best time to receive messages or connect with your intuition, but it doesn't mean you can't. It doesn't preclude your ability to connect. It just means to be careful and to be discerning, and just to be discerning in general with everything over the next 28 days. There may be a lot of lessons around discernment, both psychically and just what you're experiencing in the world and what you're reading and seeing out there. Now would be a great time to review or read for the first time my acclaimed ebook, Developing the Skills of Discernment and Intuition. You can download a free copy by signing up for my email list on my website, youaredivinehuman.org, all spelled out, youaredivinehuman.org, or you can just go to the pinned comment below the description box here on the Higher Self channel, and you can click the link to my website there. Or you can email me at youaredivinehuman@gmail.com and ask for a free copy. This full moon invites you to commit to new supportive rituals. So Aristotle did not actually say, did you know this? He did not actually say you are what you repeatedly do. That was a misattributed quote. Irregardless, it is still a wonderful piece of wisdom. You are what you repeatedly do. If you want to make long-lasting changes in your life, it requires repetition. And here's why. The subconscious mind actually manifests 95% of your reality. This part of your mind is formed pretty much completely between the ages of 0 and 7, when our brains are predominantly in a theta wave state. The thoughts and beliefs of our parents, caregivers, and even the media end up forming the template of our subconscious mind. If we don't do the healing work, the subconscious mind will continue to manifest the same sorts of problems and frustrations for us over and over again. Only 5% of our thoughts come from the input of the conscious mind, so that's why making lasting changes in your life requires a lot of deliberate repetition. Around this Capricorn full moon, it is natural to become more aware of which sorts of activities and addictions that have become a normal part of your life are slowing you down, as I mentioned before, and holding you back. Where are you giving away your time? And this is especially relevant with the Neptune part of the Grand Cross, because Neptune rules over addictions, and it's super, super amplified right now as it's just getting towards the end of Pisces. And as a reminder, when a planet or a celestial object is either entering or exiting a sign, it's amplified. Think of it as like the planet or object wants to make a big entrance into the party, and then it wants to make a grand exit and make sure everyone remembers it. So as it gets towards the end of a sign, it gets amplified. So once you've identified those daily activities that aren't supporting your highest evolution, the next step is to, of course, figure out which new rituals you can implement that will allow you to shift those hardened subconscious patterns that have maybe up till then controlled 95% of your life. One of the most commonly overlooked principles of co-creation. And what does co-creation mean? Co-creation means honoring and understanding that we are God, but yet at the same time, you know, one of the many paradoxes of life, and there are so many wonderful paradoxes in life, is that we are both one with God, we are God itself, and also at the same time playing as separate. So co-creation is the idea that although we are playing as separate beings, you know, we're pretending to be these separate beings in this physical reality, we are still always able to create, co-create, because we are that God essence, right? So that's the principle of co-creation. And one of the most commonly overlooked principles of co-creation is that a small input repeated can create a very large output, meaning it actually only takes just a few minutes per day of a new supportive ritual in order to make a significant change in your life. Just a few minutes of meditation per day, for example, can cause a wonderful improvement to your health and well-being. And think about that 5 minutes that you could have used for meditation where you were just scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, or just, zenning out, well, how zen really is it, in front of the television, right? Or whatever you were doing. Like, meditation for 5 minutes is great. 10 minutes is even better. 15 minutes is even better. But 5 minutes is great. Let me know in the comments below if you do 5 minutes of meditation a day or more, or if you're going to maybe say, you know what? This is a great reminder. Thanks, Matthew. I'm going to do it. Let me know in the comments section below. Here are some ideas for supportive daily rituals. And again, post yours below. Meditating or visualizing first thing in the morning prior to checking your phone, right? Most of us, what's the first thing we do in the morning? We roll over and check our phone. What's the stock market doing? You can tell I don't usually wake up that early if I'm checking what the stock market's doing. What's the crypto market doing? What's what's going on in Major League Baseball today, right? What's going on in the news? Did anyone message me on Instagram? What's going on my right? That's usually what we do first thing when we wake up if we're not careful. But what about meditating or visualizing first thing rather than checking your phone? Setting daily morning intentions, drawing a daily tarot or oracle card, daily aerobic exercise, dry brushing. Dry brushing is when you buy a dry bristle brush and you brush yourself in a certain way that people have been doing for many years. I believe it's an Ayurvedic practice originally, if I'm not mistaken. And you are helping your lymphatic system to drain. It's a great exercise. Rebounding, another great exercise for the lymphatic system. Grounding exercises, yoga or tai chi, a gratitude journal, journaling your thoughts before bed, watering your indoor plants or your outdoor plants, a daily artistic practice, drawing or creative writing. Masculine energy and the spiritual warrior. Capricorn brings a very masculine energy, the father energy, with it. This courageous energy is what is necessary for us to take the actions required in the earthly 3D space in order to make the necessary changes in our lives that we know we need to make. Deep inside us, we might know that we need to make these changes, and Capricorn allows us to take the practical steps. Mercury in emotional Cancer is sextiling masculine Mars and strong-willed Taurus, giving us energy to step into the divine masculine energies as well over the next 28 days. Again, the season is about finding that balance between feminine, masculine, and yin and yang. The North Node in fiery masculine Aries squares Mercury, lighting a fire under us to get moving toward our highest path or highest potential in this life. The North Node represents a direction that you as a soul intended to move toward during this life when you crafted your pre-birth plan. With the practical Capricorn energy that is about, now is the time to take practical steps that help you build toward the future. For example, if you've been desiring to move full-time into becoming a healer or some sort of spiritual practitioner, now is the time to take those practical steps. Get your website going, cultivate social media accounts, rent a space, get certifications, etc. And by the way, I can offer you something really cool. Upcoming very soon is the first ever edition of my spiritual life coaching certification course. It is a 6-week intensive 3-hour live calls with recordings if you can't make it live course that's going to teach you not only how to be a spiritual life coach, which is how I began my career, but also how to craft your own emotional freedom technique tapping sequences and do tapping with your clients, how to do regression work like past life regressions, how to do hypnosis work, how to heal stuff from the past through hypnosis, how to do inner child healing, how to do soul retrievals, shamanic soul retrievals, and so much more, even medical intuitive work I'm going to touch on as well. And by the end of the course, as long as you attend or watch the recordings of all the classes and can demonstrate to me that you've learned enough, I will give you a certification as a certified spiritual life coach on Spiritual Life Coach, having learned from me. How cool is that, right? So, and oh my God, it is so affordable. This is the first edition of this course, so I've made the price really ridiculously low. Go to my website. Okay, the link is in the description box below. Go to that courses, events, and retreats page once you get on my site and check out all the details of the Spiritual Life Coaching Certification course. Just scroll down a little bit and you will see it. That begins on July 13th. So how cool is that? July 13th, we begin the Spiritual Life Coaching course. And if you have any questions about it, please email me, youaredivinehuman@gmail.com, youaredivinehuman@gmail.com. Take a pause now to craft an inspired to-do list filled with practical steps that will drive you forward toward that highest potential / highest future. I would suggest pinning it in the notes section of your phone after you write it, or handwriting it and posting it by your desk or bed. Because of the intensity of this Mercury North Node square, for those of you that procrastinate getting going in the direction that your soul is trying to direct you, you may feel a lot of frustration actually around this time. On a collective scale, this Mercury North Node square will incite a lot of anger throughout the world about current events, like the war in the Middle East. The spiritual warrior is an archetype that we all carry within. We have all had moments of courage in this lifetime and in other lifetimes. We have all played characters who were extremely courageous in certain key moments of those specific incarnations. Your soul has played a character that saved someone else's life. Your soul has also possibly even played a character that sacrificed his or her life to save someone else's. Your soul has played characters that took huge risks in life that paid off handsomely. Your soul has played characters that overcame incredible obstacles to achieve amazing things or to garner some invaluable wisdom. The essence of the spiritual warrior is within you. Whatever obstacles are present in your reality right now are there for you either to overcome or to surrender to and gain invaluable wisdom from. Regardless of what is meant to happen, it is the spiritual warrior within you that will be the part of you that will figure out exactly what you're meant to figure out in this life. Do you fear what others think? When we don't feel fully safe and rooted in our uniqueness and individuality, we will fear what others think of us and unnecessarily censor ourselves. Here are some questions to ask yourself or journal on around the archetype of the spiritual warrior and how it relates to your journey. And again, feel free to pause the questions in between each question or to click the link in the pinned comment below, and you can click over to the article version where it has all the questions. If I had to guess, what is life asking for me to learn from my current obstacles or challenges? Which virtues am I learning from my current difficulties? How am I being shaped and formed into a new and more evolved person through these difficulties? If I had to guess, what changes in my life would my guides want me to make now? In what ways can I feel my spiritual warrior aspect within? In what ways do I need to stand up for myself better? That's such a great question. In what situations prior to now have I brought out the spiritual warrior within me and acted courageously? What might taking some courageous steps forward in my life allow myself to do? Who might it allow me to become? Wishing you a happy solstice, a blessed Litha, a happy Cancer season, and a happy full moon in Capricorn. With love, this is Matthew John. Do me a favor before you go, please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please check out all of the links in the pinned comment below. You've got my website. You've got my YouTube channel where I post 1 to 3 videos every month. You've got my Instagram. You've got a link to that mass meditation initiative for tomorrow, Saturday, June 22nd at 5 p.m. New York time, 2 p.m. Pacific time. And you've got the link to the article, of course. And if you go to my website, you can check out all that I offer, which is a lot. Okay. Again, we've got the 2024 Spiritual Life Coaching Certification course. Okay. 6 Saturday classes. There's actually 5 Saturday and 1 Sunday in there from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern time between July 13th and October 5th. And it is just $444. But if you sign up for a month of Ascending as One as a VIP member, it saves you 20%. So, and if you save 20%, it actually brings it all the way down from $444. Let's do the math to $355. It's a really incredible deal for a certification. You're learning from a true master of coaching, someone that began as a life coach, then more consider myself a spiritual life coach as I started practicing with people and becoming a professional at it. I've always kept that as the bedrock, the foundation of my work. That's why in my readings I ask really deep questions. I'm not just telling you what I'm seeing. I'm also asking deep, relevant questions. And you are going to learn from one of the best if you do this spiritual life coaching training course at an incredible price. So you can sign up on my website, or if you want to talk to me about it, I'm happy to do a free consultation. Just email me, youaredivinehuman@gmail.com, or find the contact me part of my website and ask me any questions via email, or we can schedule a phone chat to go over the details of the course and see if you would be a good fit for it. Also, I have a deadline coming up that's really important, okay? Some of you have heard me talk about my Peru retreat for 2025. Well, the early bird sign-up deadline is fast approaching. It is July 1st, okay? July 1st is the early bird deadline for the Peru retreat in 2025. So, and it's a big chunk of change that you save with that. You save 20% off of the Peru retreat if you put down a $1,000 deposit by July 1st. So if you're thinking about it, think more about it, okay? You only got a couple days left. The Peru retreat, I mean, all my retreats are just outstanding. This Peru one is going to be unbelievable, okay? I'm looking at the schedule right now. Here we go. We're a welcome luncheon with live band and Quechuan dancers, okay? Trance channeling with me, dinner with live music, every morning Qigong, a group past life regression, guided tour of the Saskatchewan archaeological site on horseback, including the Temple of the Moon, okay, dinner and live music, gallery-style mediumship with me, morning yoga, visiting a Passaic archaeological site and Napa energy known for ancient energy, maybe even extraterrestrial energy, who knows, right? Stargazing at night, visiting a traditional Quechua village, okay, with a Quechuan-speaking guide, traditional weaving, oh my God, a group starseed discovery session. How cool is that? A full-day Machu Picchu excursion, hiking all the way up to the top of Machu Picchu. Will be an experience of a lifetime. Absolutely an experience of a lifetime. Visiting the Andawalila's church, okay, the Sistine Chapel of South America, and the UFO Museum, which has got all these incredible alien artifacts. Sessions with a Kiro shaman, private readings with me, okay? How to ascend into the fifth dimension, a whole talk on that. How to step into your highest timeline, doing group grid work. There's also an optional day 9, which is a Reiki Master Training Day. If you're a Reiki 2 practitioner and you want to learn Reiki Mastership in Peru, how cool is that? I offer that as well. The price is very affordable if you compare it to other 8-day retreats that are in Peru or somewhere else around the world. And if you have any questions about it, again, I'm happy to do free consultation and or answer any questions over email. Just email me, youaredivinehuman@gmail.com, youaredivinehuman@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to answer all of your questions. And I would love to have you join. This will be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Going to Peru, going to Machu Picchu with me and with a group of people from all over the world. Also, more locally, upcoming Friday, July 19th, 7 p.m., Mastering Your Intuition, Opening to Mediumship, plus Gallery Mediumship from me at Open Doors Braintree. That's in the Boston metro area. And Wednesday, July 24th, 6:30 p.m., Manifesting Your Most Joyful and Abundant Era and Gallery Mediumship at Quest NYC Bookshop. And also Thursday, July 25th, I will be announcing next week another event in New Jersey, in Edison, New Jersey on July 25th. So little tour, July 19th, Boston, July 24th, New York City, July 25th, Northern New Jersey. Tickets for all of those that are on sale right now, they're on my website on the Courses, Events, and Retreats page, or you can always just email me. Ascending is one. We do have one class left in June. You're welcome to join. It requires a VIP membership, but that's your Healing Your Feminine Mother Wounds and Syrian Channeling call. And that would also get you a private reading with me in July, where you can ask me literally anything. You want to know if you're a starseed, you want to know about your past lives, you want to know about your soul contracts with someone else, you want to know about any relationships, you want to know if you should change jobs, if you should move, you want to know really anything. I can tell you anything in these readings. And you would get a reading in July with your June Ascending as One purchase. You'd also get the recordings of Coaching Skills 101, Connecting with Atlantis, and Healing Your Third Eye Chakra. All were awesome calls. And enrollment is also open for August. August, you have the True Lionsgate Activation, Healing Your Crown Chakra, Stepping in Your Highest Purpose, and the VIP-only call will be How to Do Trance Channeling, plus Syrian Channeling as well. All right, everyone, so all the information for everything's on my website. I also do offer full-length private sessions, and I have rare availability for July. A lot of times I know it's frustrating for you guys because you want to book one of the full-length sessions, like a full soul plan reading or a full medical intuitive reading, and I have no availability for like 3 months. But I do have some rare availability in July, so make sure you take advantage of that. And remember, if you sign up for Ascending as One first, you do get a significant discount. A VIP membership of Ascending as One saves you 25% on any of the full-length private sessions. So there's so many options in person and remotely to work with me, all on my website, youaredivinehuman.org, youaredivinehuman.org. Also, those of you that are Coast to Coast AM fans, as I have been since the days of Art Bell, I will be appearing on Coast to Coast AM on Sunday morning, Sunday, June 23rd, from 3 to 5 a.m. So tune into your local Coast to Coast station if you're up late or up early. I will be discussing what it means to be a starseed. So Coast to Coast AM, Sunday morning, June 23rd, 3 to 5 a.m. Eastern Time. All right, everyone, it was such a pleasure, as always, speaking to you on this full moon, and I look forward to speaking to you on the upcoming new moon in Cancer. And until then, everyone, please remember to be kind to yourself, to be kind to others, to be kind to animals, and to be kind to the earth. With love, this is Matthew John.